Welcome back to Scaled Down Tucson Dragway. This week, we're going to take a step back in time, a little nostalgia pro stock race. Okay, not that far back in time, but how about late 90s? That is Mark the Cowboy Powick in his Summit machine. And round number one, he's going to go off against the professor himself, Warren Johnson in the Pontiac. The Marnell and Kite team, George Marnell behind the controls, the Las Vegas businessman. His first round opponent will be the Denver businessman, Vieri Gates, out of Western Trucking. Jim Yates, couple of championships under his belt in that McDonald's Pontiac. His round number one opponent is going to be former NBA star Tom Hammonds. And our final pair, the newcomers to the category, Jeg Coughlin Jr., just getting started in his pro stock career, and second-generation racer Kurt Johnson. That's our nostalgia pro stock lineup here at Scaled Down Tucson Dragway. All right, it's time for round number one. You could not ask for a better day of pro stock racing. It's a little crisp and cool out here, but that means big horsepower as our first pair pull up to the line. It's Mark Powick, the Cowboy, in the Summit machine, and Warren Johnson. Oh, just like you expect a pro stock race, side by side down to the lights, and Warren Johnson, by just a nose, is going to advance to round number two. Couple of businessmen up here next. That's George Marnell in the red and white car out of Las Vegas, and V Gaines making his way down from Denver. V does a lot of testing here at Tucson Dragway. Will that give him an advantage? Well, I don't know if it's testing or horsepower, but V Gaines is going to take the win. Looked like Marnell had a problem out there. His car slowed in high gear, and Vieri Gaines advances to round number two. Great pair coming up next. Jim Yates, the multiple-time champion in the McDonald's car, and Tom Hammonds. And yes, we wonder every week how a guy 6'9" tall can pack himself into a pro stocker. Terrific drag race once again. You expect competition like this from pro stock, and it's going to be Jim Yates getting the better of it. He's got masking power under the hood of that machine, and that's going to carry him into the semifinals. And our final pair in round number one, a couple of second-generation drivers. That is Kurt Johnson in the black and gold machine, and Jeg Coughlin Jr. just getting his feet wet in pro stock. Oh, problems for Kurt right off the starting line. Looked like it may have broken something in the rear end. The car ends up on its roof. Safety is rolling. Well, it certainly looked bad, but Kurt was able to climb out of the car and walk away under his own power. It'll be a couple of minutes while we get the racetrack cleared, and then we'll be back for the semifinals. Scary moment here at Tucson Dragway, but Kurt walked away. Jeg Coughlin advances to the semifinals. Okay, Renner. We are set for the semifinals. It's going to feature Vieri Gaines on the left side and the professor himself, Warren Johnson, in the right lane. Great drag race, and Vieri Gaines able to stick the nose out in front of the GM Performance Parts Pontiac. Not sure if Warren had a problem on that run or not, but it definitely looked like it was slowing at the top end. V Gaines waits in the final. Will it be the McDonald's machine or the yellow and black for Jegs.com? And Jeg Coughlin takes it. He'll race V Gaines in the final round. While our pro stock racers get ready for their final round, how about a special match race? Check it out. That is the Speed Sport Special. That car is such a big part of Tucson racing lore. It's actually the logo here at Tucson Dragway, both the real one and the scaled one. Thanks to Kenny Youngblood for that. And he's going to be up against all the way in from Chicago, Don Schumacher in the Wonder Wagon. Let's take a look and see what happens here. It's going to be all speed sport. Hey, maybe a home field advantage as the Tucson car takes care of business here at Scaled Down Tucson Dragway. Be sure and join us next weekend when we're going to have a special 8-car funny car match race. Just a little preview of coming events here at Scaled Down Tucson Dragway. And now it's time. Here we go with the pro stock final round. V Gaines in from Colorado, Jeg Coughlin Jr. out of Ohio. V Gaines looks to have the advantage in the middle of the racetrack. Top end. Oh, Jeg Coughlin just drove by him. Tremendous drag race, but the win goes to the yellow and black and Jeg Coughlin Jr. Remember where you heard it. This guy's got a future in pro stock.